Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Cheney and I'm a homeschooling mom to 3 kids, ages 13, 6, and 2. And today I'm really excited to join in on the collaboration with Nicole from Secular and Free Homeschool, and a collab specifically for people who focus on secular curriculum or prefer secular curriculum. I have been homeschooling for, this is our 5th year? Yeah, our 5th year homeschooling. I'm going into my 6th year of homeschooling. So I've been at this for a while. And the topic of today's collaboration is prepping for writing for next year. Now I'm specifically going to be talking about my 6-year-old going into 7-year-old next year, because he is the one who I will be using a curriculum with. My oldest son will be attending an in-person program, so I will not be choosing his curriculum. But this is actually a new curriculum that I've never used before, but I did a lot of research, and I've decided to go with this. Up until this point, I have been using The Good and the Beautiful, which is not a secular curriculum, it is a Christian curriculum. But up until this point, the focus has been mostly on phonics and letter recognition, things like that, spelling rules a little bit. And he would be going into level 2 of The Good and the Beautiful. I do have level 2 of The Good and the Beautiful, which is roughly a 3rd grade level curriculum in the public schools in my area in Georgia. But as he gets older, it's not that it's difficult to edit the curriculum. It's just that he's old enough now to kind of ask questions or be like, hey, why are we skipping that lesson? So I really just started to look for a different curriculum. Last year, or I'm sorry, not last year, the year before last, I did try lightning literature. I did not end up sticking with that. Particularly the writing in that I felt was like not very guided or structured for me. Yeah, it would kind of just be like, okay, on Monday, write your rough draft. And it's like, well, a rough draft about what? It didn't really go through any of the like process of writing. So I found this curriculum, which I had never seen before this year. I'd never heard anyone mention this, but a friend brought it up to me. And so the first thing about this curriculum, this is from JacKris Publishing, is that the price point on this is like unbeatable. I haven't seen any other curriculum at this price point. I did piece together Michael Clay Thompson, but after looking through it, I think that I bought the island level from Michael Clay Thompson off of like buy and sell Facebook groups, because the price point on Michael Clay Thompson is insane. I don't understand how they justify charging the prices that they charge for those books. But once I got them, I looked over them and I was like, I feel like this is a little bit too advanced for, a 6 going into 7-year-old. I feel like it's more for like a 9-year-old. But this, after so it was this that I saw first, the Growing with Grammar. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. And it was one of the higher levels, but, I'm not too overly concerned with grammar at the moment. But I initially started looking into this curriculum because I saw that Growing with Grammar had this Soaring with Spelling and Vocabulary. And so with my oldest child, I have used Wordly Wise for vocabulary. Most of my homeschooling journey, I used the Wordly Wise, and it worked really, really well for my oldest. My second son, I just started him on Wordly Wise this year for the grade 2 book, and he did not like it. He didn't like it at all. And when I asked him what was the thing he liked the least this year, he said, Wordly Wise. I don't want to do Wordly Wise anymore. And then I never did a formal spelling curriculum with my oldest. We did use The Good and the Beautiful, which incorporates spelling. But I never used like a formal spelling curriculum with him, and I didn't intend on using one with my middle child. But he specifically asked me for a spelling curriculum. He said he wanted to do more spelling and less Wordly Wise. So I started out looking at this, and then I saw there's like one person who does like good in-depth overviews of this, and I don't remember the channel name off the top of my head, but I'll try to remember it and link it in the description. to her channel because she does like lessons with us and everything. I thought it was really thorough, and it got me really excited. So the price point for each of these little sets are like 20 bucks a piece. So the total cost of this full year's worth of level 1, which is like a grade 1 curriculum, was $60. That's crazy. That's insane to me. I have not seen anything. I think the only thing that could beat this price point would be like Harcourt textbooks. And I think that would be if you just got the textbook, you know what I mean? So anyway, this is the whole package. So I bought the full level 1 package. Now, again, I mentioned earlier that my son is doing, you know, higher level work than this, but I opted to start with the first level to make sure, to give him time to get used to like the structure of this new program. And, you know, really make sure that he's catching all the foundations, because I do skip over some things if I feel like it's going to be too frustrating for my son. I'm not going to sit there and like beat him over the head with spelling rules or anything. So I did decide to go back, and I know my son, and I knew that this rainbow cover, this is the only level that has like a rainbow cover. I knew he would be excited about the rainbow because he likes rainbows. So, and he was. As soon as I pulled this out and I told him that this is what we were going to be doing for next year, he was ecstatic. He was like, "Can we start now?" And I was like, "Well, you know, let's finish the book that we're working on now." So, everything that comes in the package here is this book, Soaring with Spelling and Vocabulary, and then there is an answer key. I don't know if I'm going to need this very much, but it does break down a weekly schedule. So on day 1, you have a pretest where you pre-test them on the words, you go over the words and definitions, go over any carryover words you have from the previous week. And then days 2 through 4, you do the word pages and go over, you know, the words. And day 5, you have a test. The answer keys are here. I don't think that you need these, but they come as a package. So I didn't have to buy these separately. They came together. So yeah. And so to show you inside here, again, it's got a breakdown of how to use this program, and I'll just walk you through a week. So here is the table of contents, and you see it's going over phonetic sounds in the spelling. So I feel like this is going to complement phonics really well. And at his stage of reading, we're kind of, you know, we're on the ends, we're in more complex phonics now than, you know, ACE's A. So I do think that this is going to complement really well. Here's that other side of that table of contents. Now, this is not colorful at all. You know, it's not flashy, but I do think that this is really like super sweet, straight, and to the point. It's easy to follow. So day 1, you know, you start with your words. Here is the pretest, so you'll give them the words, they see if they can write it, you see where you can correct them. If you have carryover words from the week before, you would add those in there as well. And then, yeah, so here's the next day's worksheet. You see these are super simple words. My son can probably spell these words, but yeah, I think that I wanted to kind of start here and see where we go. And then here they've got a word search, unscramble the word, copy work. And then on the last day you have the test. And it just goes that way all the way through. I'm gonna flip through further back so you can kind of see the progression here. So now we've moved to, you know, longer words. And these types of words, he's already gone over, I believe, with the Good and the Beautiful program. So most of this will be review. He's definitely gone over OA sounds. And, you know, it obviously gives the definitions as well. So, yeah, but I feel like this is more phonics and spelling than it is actual vocabulary. Like, my son already knows all these words. I don't think I ran into a word that my son didn't know in this particular book. But I'm sure if you go level, you know, you could level up as you need. But for spelling, I did think that it was a good level to start with to build confidence. Because I've never given him like a spelling test or anything like that. I've dictated sentences to him, and I've had him like The Good and the Beautiful will have you say like earth, 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 you know, so, or we'll have them hop around or something like that. So this would be different in that it's not colorful, it's not flashy, it doesn't, it's not going to have you do anything outside of the workbook, right? So, you know, if you're looking for something extra, this isn't it. This is straight, this is to the point, 1 worksheet a day, 5 days a week, building spelling confidence. So that is that. And I get that the title of like the series is writing, and I'm gonna do the writing one, but I do feel like the full course all comes back to, you know, the ability to write. I think you need to be able to spell. I think you need vocabulary. I think you need writing. I think you need grammar to be a good writer. So if no one else included all of this, I'm sorry, but so the next thing is winning with writing. And again, I've never done like a formal writing course with my son, and I don't think The Good and the Beautiful has really, he's done some editing, but that's about it. And even that is very specific to make sure it starts with a capital letter and ends with a period. They had some of that in Lightning Literature as well, like that kind of like editing grammar stuff, but not much composition. Any composition that my son has done has been verbal. I have, if I have writing prompts, I'll verbally ask him, and then he will tell me the story. I've had him make up stories verbally, but I've never asked him to write it down. Now he has like made little books, and he has written me like thank you notes and stuff with The Good and the Beautiful, and recently he did like a gratitude little flip book thing that was part of the curriculum, and it was super, super sweet. But this will be the first like formal pen to paper writing curriculum that I've ever used with him, because I just didn't do any of the writing with Lightning Literature. I couldn't, it was too vague. I couldn't follow it. And so again, this is the same thing as the other ones. It's 36 weekly lessons, day 1 through day 5, and it will tell you day 1 through day 5 on here. And here is the table of contents, all 36 lessons. I can't speak tonight. And it's naming words, naming groups of things, things that are the same, things that are different, action words, review, using action words, descriptive words, using descriptive and naming words, introduction to sentences, writing sentences, descriptive words in sentences, more about questions, more about exclamations, introduction to topics, more on topics, introduction to details, detailed sentences, choosing a topic, introduction to a story, organizing your thoughts, ending the story, words that tell how, when, and where, words that rename a person, place, or thing, explaining the steps of a story, writing stories, rhyming words, words that describe, getting and sharing information, writing a poem, writing a riddle, and then review again. So, again, this isn't going to be anything outside of the book. Everything is going to be here within this workbook. It's 1 lesson a day, 5 days a week, but I think it would be super easy, especially for this one, to condense this into like a 4-day week if you were looking for that, or even a 3-day week. You would just be, you know, obviously doing more than 1 page per day. All right. So this is a little bit about naming words or nouns, and it's having you match the word to the car. And then here it's having you come up with the names for the words again. And this too could be partnership. Like if your student still isn't comfortable with like writing out the words, you could always do this verbally and key in their answers. I think that's perfectly acceptable. Like in any, I don't see a point in holding a child behind if like one skill isn't matching the other as far as like ability. So this still is having them name words, which, you know, noun means name. And this is picking the correct word and filling them in. Okay, so that's the first lesson. So these are plural nouns, and I think maybe it'll be collective nouns. I'm not sure. Oh, the page is ripped. Oh no. Yeah, so let's flip through here, and I'm gonna get to further deeper into the curriculum. So here we are at lesson 13. This is, you know, a little bit in. We're still talking about descriptive words here, describing, you know, the girl was tired. We have a red door. And then here, use the words to fill in, to complete the sentence. So, you know, picking the word to describe the image. So I think if you are looking at an earlier elementary student, if I had it to do over again, I would start with this curriculum and pair it with Explode the Code. And I think that that would be a really good rounded out curriculum for you to do. I tried to start my son on Explode the Code this year and he didn't like it, but I think it's because I tried to start him on book 1 and he is way above that phonetically, and so he just viewed it as like busy work to bog him down, and he got really annoyed about it. If you were to ask him, he'd be like, my mom still makes me go over 3-letter words, and he's very irritated about that. But I think that this curriculum would be a great curriculum to pair with Explode the Code. I think you'd come out with a really strong reader and writer. All right, and so this is more about questions. So yes and no to the sentences if they are a question. You know, this isn't too, I don't think that this is particularly complex at all. I find this to be a very straightforward and simple curriculum, which I like. And I know people really, really want everything to be kind of, you know, very beautiful and colorful. But I found with my middle son now, like this wasn't always the case, but for right now, he really just wants to get to it and get it over with. And so the more flashy something is right now, the less into it he is. He wants to get his work done and move on with his life. So here we have organizing your thoughts. So it gives them a topic, things I need to get ready for bed. And I wash my face, brush my teeth, put on my pajamas. I tell my parents goodnight, and then it's got him listing more steps to what he needs to do to go to bed, how to make peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So yeah, so it's got him organizing how to make a peanut butter and jelly. Words that rename a person, place, or thing. Okay, so this is pronouns. Back here, closer to the end. And so see here at the end, they have him writing a short story. So it starts with, words that describe, and it ends with write a short story. So I do think that there is clearly a progression here. There's a lot more independent writing. Here's another, write 3 sentences, write words that rhyme with it. So words that rhyme with sing and hop and ball. Here we have writing a riddle. I think these will be fun to do with him. Okay. Yep. And so we end off with writing a riddle at the end of the curriculum. So that is winning with writing. And then it also comes with this answer key as well. It doesn't have an explanation in this one. It just goes straight into the answer key. And I think this is super, I don't know that I'll ever need to reference these. But if you need it, it's there, especially, if you're like me and you work, maybe having someone else do the working with them and you grade it later, that would work really well, I think. And the last piece to this is growing with grammar. Again, I got the level 1. I know in the later levels, this separates into 2 separate books. So they have an instruction book and then the student workbook. In level 1, it is all one book. And so it's growing with grammar, the book, the answer key, and then growing with grammar specifically comes with tests. And these are loose leaf in here. It's a loose leaf packet of tests. And then there's an answer key in the back. So, yeah. Use after lesson 12. So it's going to tell you when to use them after review 3. I've only ever given my middle child, well, he has tests in Beast Academy at the end of in the online thing, there's like hallways, and when he gets to the end of a hallway, he has like a test. So he does those, and he gets really excited about those. And I also gave him a test. We did a spectrum workbook on money math, and I gave him the test at the end, and he did perfect, and he was really excited. But I will shy out. Like, I'm not going to give him a test if I don't think he's going to do really well on it. Just because I know where his capability is. I don't need to test him to make sure, like, to find out, because I'm already working with him. You know what I mean? So, his ability to work independently is going to help me gauge where he's at. But I might give him the test just to kind of keep familiarizing him with the process of taking tests. Because I do think that our state does require standardized testing every 3 years. And he'll have to take standardized tests later in life to, you know, if he wants to go to college or get certified for things. Driver's license is a standardized test here. So maybe, I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm certainly not gonna upset my 6-year-old / you know, at some point next year he'll be 7. I'm not gonna upset him with a grammar test right now. It's not like that high up on my priority list. But anyway, so this one is not designed to be 5 days a week. I know this one. Where is it at? Hold on, I think it might be in here. Oh, is it not in here? Which one? I think it's this one is not intended to be 5 days a week. I think it's only meant to be 2 or 3 days a week. Let's see here. I could be wrong. I swear one of these, let's see, it's got 24 lessons, 96. Yeah, I think, or maybe I just assumed because it was only 96 lessons that it wasn't 5 days a week. I don't know where I got that from, but I think there's only 96 lessons in this. So it's not, it doesn't have the same like day 1, day 2, day 3. It's got lessons. And I think that the parts of the lessons, so it's just lesson 1 here is just a page. So yeah, I think that that's where I got the 3 days from. I just looked at the number of lessons, and they don't match up to doing 5 days a week. Certainly not. If you did this 5 days a week, you would finish like before, you know, half the year is over almost. But anywho, so this goes over introduction to sentences, complete sentences, subjects, predicates, sentence building, statements, questions, exclamations, sentence review, nouns that name people, nouns that name places, nouns that name things, common and proper nouns, singular, plural, and possessive nouns, pronouns, introduction to prepositions, nouns, pronouns, prepositions review, action verbs, verb agreement, present, past tense verbs, irregular verbs, using am, is, and are, using was and were, contractions with not, verb review, adjectives. Oh, I just realized I'm off the screen. I'm sorry, guys. Adjectives, more adjectives, adjectives that compare, using a, an, and me, alphabetical order, synonyms, antonyms, homonyms, rhyming words, compound words, and adjectives and word review. So that is that. I'm going to show you here. As I said before, a lesson is just, you know, until you get to the next lesson. So this one in particular is front and back here. And it just kind of introduces a sentence is a group of words that expresses a complete thought. It gives you some examples, and you have to complete the sentence. Here, you have to match the sentence to the end to complete the thought. Lesson 2, you're continuing the sentences here. And here you are, you know, adding the capital letter. Yeah, so these are just front and back each lesson. I feel like probably later on you're gonna get longer, but I'm not sure. So all the way through, you know, the first 10 lessons or so, you're just working with, you know, the parts of a sentence, which I think is probably really age appropriate for my 6-year-old. And then flipping back here, 41, this is a pronoun lesson. Draw from a noun to the correct pronoun, or draw a line from the noun to the correct pronoun over here. No, these are still front and back. Yeah, so it's just one page front and back. Super simple and sweet. You could probably even do these as, this is like a unit study if you wanted to. And just do more than one lesson per day, I feel like. Or if you needed just like some extra review or extra practice with grammar or writing, these are really good. Like I said, these are 20 bucks a piece for the total, and then the total curriculum adding up to 60, which I still cannot get over that price point because curriculum is expensive, you guys. And when you have more than one kid, it starts to really, really add up. But yeah, just continuing flipping here. I'm really excited about this. I get, like, it's funny because it's super not flashy. It's essentially, you know, a bunch of worksheets. And I would have really shied away from that, you know, for the last few years. But I'm really moving towards simplifying it, especially the more kids that I have, because that I have coming into, you know, a full course load. I do value rigor. I'm not like an unschooly person. I'm just not. So I value rigor. I think that this is going to check off that box of, you know, good, I don't know the word that I'm looking for. Also, I forgot to mention this curriculum is a spiral approach. So it will be like looping back around. I don't know if you noticed with the, I can't think, the table of contents that I was showing you. It will loop back around topics and review them. So that was growing with grammar, soaring with spelling, and winning with writing. I hope you guys enjoyed this walkthrough of this new shiny curriculum that I'm going to be using next year. This is my plan for writing. As far as like creative writing, again, like I said, I will just pull a topic from a hat. I might generate some. I usually just kind of make them up. And have him orally tell me the story. I don't really have him write things down, so this will be my first formal writing curriculum that I've ever used with him. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And if if you're interested on how this curriculum works out for me, you can follow along. I will make certain to post an update because there's such a limited amount of information on this curriculum, on this app. I had certainly never heard of it. So yeah. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.